Hello, Jessica Good here, and today we're taking a look at Lego Minifigures, the Batman movie series, which just released, sort of. I mean, you can find it in like Target stores in the United States, and they officially released January 1st, 2017. So, let's get into this. So here is the first minifigure, Lobster-Lovin Batman, and they give you the ingredients to make Lobster Thermidor. So you got a new, completely new mold that will please a lot of Lego City fans, a lobster mold, and that could connect to one stud. And then you got a printed plate, which has the lobster thermidor ingredients. I guess you got some sauce and some lettuce. And there you go. You now got lobster thermidor assembled. Of course, it's not really stuck on there, so if you do display it, it's very hard to keep the lobster on there, just by the way that Batman could hold it, depending on the plate size, and it'll usually fall off. But the rest of Batman is this nice kind of robe, and this was seen in the first trailer, even down to the lobster thermidor. I really like how this came out. This is actually one of my favorites of the series, just because of the patterns on the side, which you guys can see have some really kind of fancy looking printing. And on the back, you got that printing kind of continuing. And you can see he does have some dual molded legs, where the bottom half of his legs are just bare. And if you take off his little cowl, you can see underneath he does have a new expression for Batman where he's kind of smirking. And keep in mind, this is actually the only way to get the plain, regular, no additions to it, black cowl in this series. Here is Glam Metal Batman. He's the second minifigure of the series, and he has some nice detailing to him that kind of gives him a look like he's straight out of the band Kiss, which is kind of funny. That kind of shoulder pad piece is not new, but it's new in that color, as well as this guitar piece, which is new with the printing on it. Now, the actual printing on the torso even shows his chest, which is a second figure to show his chest in this series. As you can see, Lobster-Lovin shows his six-pack as well. But either way, he does have some interesting legs, which are not dual-molded, even though they look like they're dual-molded, and they kind of just cut off at the back. No back printing, which is the same case with all the other minifigures that are Batman suits in this series. And if you take off his little cowl, which does have a nice print on it, which is the bat symbol in silver, you can see his face print underneath is him kind of screaming, which is kind of funny. Some other kind of hidden details include some side arm printing, which is just a nice little touch. And that is it for Glam Metal Batman. Here is Fairy Batman, who has this nice kind of light pink outfit, which is kind of hilarious. And you also got some dark pink shoes, as well as some side arm printing, which has some nice little stripes on it, and a translucent pink fairy wings, which is a pretty nice piece to get. That little tutu piece is new in that color because we only got it in white before. I love the face print underneath, which you can see actually has a pink stripe, which is one of the first ones to use the Batman eyes with the pink stripe. And the face is very expressive with it kind of reaching into the corner. It reminds me of that face from Rick and Morty. You guys know the face if you relate to what I'm talking about and you watch Rick and Morty. Also, this little magic wand right here is a nice translucent pink as well. And he does have some kind of printing underneath, which is very, very funny. But that is really it. And it is very intricate printing with the dual molded legs, so I do like that. So here is Clan of the Cave Batman. A pretty cool Tarzan looking guy, and of course you got the six-pack still showing. I love how most of these suits have the six-pack showing. That's just kind of funny. I really like the side arm and leg printing, which is pretty intricate. So the side arm printing, you got some nice kind of stitching there, and I like how they have that little black line so close to the cutoff point. And then the side leg printing, you can see it looks like it's triple molded, but really it's just dual molded, with the top being that caramel color and the sides being that peach color. So that's really impressive. As I said with the other Batman suits, the back printing is non-existent. There's no back printing, even though there are some back printing on some other minifigures in the series, oddly enough. You can see this side also has the same side printing. And the cowl piece is actually the first time we're getting that original cowl in brown, which is kind of interesting. There's some nice stitching on there, which is, you know, a pretty messy look, and I like that. And if you remove his cowl, you can see underneath he has pretty much an expressive face. I like the little lines on the side and the eyes, which are kind of slanted, so that gives some nice expression on there. So here's my favorite of the series, Vacation Batman. I don't know, there's just something about him that's really hilarious, but super impressive to me. I love the goggle molding that's kind of added on to the original cowl piece. Yeah, you can't really remove the goggles, but it's so impressive how they did that. That's just really nice dual molding. And his torso print is kind of this nice summer-esque print, which has all these little Batman symbols on it, which is kind of funny. And of course, you got the six-pack revealing. And if you remove his accessory, you could see that underneath he has these nice little swim trunks right here, which I kind of would have preferred if they didn't put the little Batman logo right there, because these would have been some cool dual molded legs with some barefoot light flesh kind of legs. And we also got this nice kind of look underneath the minifigure, which is just a Bruce Wayne look, which is awesome for people who don't have Bruce Wayne like me and you need a Bruce Wayne face. Well, there you go. So that works perfectly in my opinion. And we can't forget the accessory, which is this really cool swim float. And that kind of just attaches at the top of the legs. That's a very nice molding, and there's even a little bit of, it looks like a Robin or Nightwing kind of cowl in the front, just to add a little bit of flavor. Can't wait to see if they will use this more. It has just such a nice look to it that it looks like it's rubber, but in reality it's not, it's a hard plastic. And I forgot to add, but the minifigure has 2 orange slippers, which could be used, but if you use them, obviously you can't make him stand on the minifigure display stand. Here's Police Officer Barbara Gordon, and this is one of 2 Barbara Gordons in this whole line. She has some nice printing on both sides of her arms, as well as back printing, which is not evident in a lot of the minifigures, so that's nice to get. Also, she has nice handcuffs, which is kind of weird because another minifigure in this line has handcuffs, but at least she has a different accessory as well, which is this little 1x1 printed circular tile, which also comes in the Batmobile set, but still, you know, it is nice to get in a cheap way, I guess. And she also has a 1x1 plate underneath to make her hold it, which honestly, that's kind of a pain to make a minifigure hold. Either way, I really do appreciate her new hair hat combo. It's kind of hard to say, which was appearing in Lego City, but this one has dark red hair, which I really do like, and it has a little bun in the back. That's some nice dual molding there, and her face print, which is new and exclusive, and is always useful because it is printed on a regular flesh head. So here is Commissioner Gordon. In this one, he looks a little more like a detective or something. He has a very disheveled look where his torso is very rugged. Looks like he's very stressed out, and some nice leg printing. That 2x2 tile is a new print, and he does have some dual molded arms as well with the nice sleeve printing, which is little details like that that make me really like this minifigure because he got little detailing printing on there, and he got little detailed printing on the corner of his hair, which that hair mold is completely new. I thought it was originally going to be, what was it, the Obi-Wan hair from the Clone Wars, and it's not that. So that's pretty neat. Also some nice back printing, like I said, pretty much a treat because some of these minifigures in the series do not have back printing. And his facial expression is different from his expression in the Scuttler set. And I really have to appreciate that because in general, Commissioner Gordon is a very hard to find character. So it's nice to get him in a cheap $4 minifigure series. So here's one of the most controversial minifigures of the series in the Lego world, and it is the Joker in Arkham Asylum gear. Now, the controversy comes from the fact that this is the same exact minifigure from the Arkham Asylum set for Joker, except for the face. And you can see even down to the torso and legs, which if you remove the accessory, which is kind of lame, it was just a pair of handcuffs, which is so easy to get. You can see that his torso and legs are the same exact thing. But I think it's actually a good thing because people who don't get Arkham Asylum, now they could get random Arkham Asylum torsos, and this one's really not distinguished or exclusive to the Joker, so you could use it for different inmates, and that's very helpful. So I kind of prefer that over, say, if they made it a more unique torso where it was just a coffee stain, but ultimately I would have preferred if they just released like a Chef Joker or something like that, just a different variant of Joker. Now the face print is actually one of my favorites of the Joker in this Lego Batman series. You can see he has a very sad face right there where he's about to cry. Then on this side right here, he has more of a whimsical really face where it also looks like he's about to cry. So I really do like that. And his hair mold, of course, is a new hair mold for 2017 Lego Batman movie sets, which is very incredible and detailed. So here's Dick Grayson, and I think this is going to be really popular for people who like Lego City just because of those jean pieces right there, which are incredibly useful. It's just a plain jean print, and they work perfectly in my opinion. Also, his sweater is really useful, even though I think a lot of people would wish that that was colored yellow right there. And his accessory is kind of funny. It's shark repellent, and you see there's printing on both sides of that, which is a really nice little print. And then you got some back printing on his little sweater, and his face print is a new face print. It's a little bit to the side for his mouth, and you can see his eyes underneath, and of course this kind of hair hat combo is the same one they use in the Scuttler set where it's not colored green inside there. Here is Pink Power Batgirl, and this version of Batgirl is really, really adorable. I love it. I don't know why. I love the cape on the back, which is the same cape they use for the Batgirl minifigure, but with pink over it, which has that nice shine on the outside. And if you move the cape up, you can see there's no back printing. That wasn't what I was trying to show. I'm trying to show that in the inside, it's a more flat coloring, and that's kind of how these new capes work, which they use also for Robin as well. And then you got some nice printing on the side arms and some dual molded legs, which is always useful. Also, a little bit of skirt printing on the bottom and a nice skirt piece, which is the first time we're getting it in this nice kind of dark pink color. You know, they use that for like the Disney series and stuff like that. Also, a dark pink kind of a little batarang right there. And she's one of the few minifigures with an alternate face. So you got a more serious look right there. But on the back you have a, I'm winning type look. So that's pretty adorable. And her hair mold is the same mold that's used in sets like the Scuttler and Arkham Asylum. But, this has a silver kind of hairband right there. So that makes it exclusive because the one in those sets has a gold hairband. Here is Red Hood, and this is based off the original Red Hood look, which is different from the summer 2016 Lego Red Hood. You can see the actual kind of body molding right here is the same one used for the new Mr. Freeze, which is pretty nice, but that's, you know, different coloring and different printing. And there's a nice tuxedo print underneath, and if you remove this kind of hood part right here, you can see his face print underneath, which looks a lot like the current Red Hood. Also, he has two little guns right there, two little pistols, which, you know, usually I would say, you know, having a gun or pistol isn't a nice accessory because they're so easy to get, but these are particularly kind of hard to get, guns and pistols. They don't make this molding that much, if I'm thinking it's the same molding. So I kind of like them including that. And once you remove the armor, you can see the nice tuxedo printing underneath, and he doesn't have any back torso printing because he does have a cape on. And here is the Eraser, who is a very obscure villain, and it's nice to see him in Lego form. Don't let my camera fool you, that is actually bright light orange, so that is the yellow that looks a little bit darker. It's not like a plain yellow. And you got some nice printing on the side of his arms and everything. And you have an accessory, which is a 2x2 tile that says to erase. And his head mold's probably the best part about him, and I just love how it came out. It's this nice cylinder looking piece. Originally I thought it was going to just be the Lego cylinder piece, but it's not. It's actually a new modified head mold, and it actually has a stud at the top, which you could fit this 1x1 tile, circular tile that they give you to make it look like an eraser. So that is it for the Eraser. So here is Nurse Harlequin, a very cool addition to the series because she looks freaking adorable, first off. And second off, this Lego Batman movie Harlequin minifigure is actually kind of hard to get, so it's nice to get her in a cheap way with that new hair piece. Love the new face print. I think that's too adorable with her open mouth and everything. And her accessory is this 2x2 tile with Arkham Asylum, Harley Quinn plus Joker on it. That's pretty not useful, but it's still just a funny little addition with the clipboard and everything. And we also got this nice dual molded legs, which I really adore the little kind of shoe printing that even has little shoelaces on it, which is pretty impressive to me. And it even kind of wraps around with some nice kind of black lining. I also like the pink gloves, which is just a really cool addition as well. So a very impressive minifigure. And there is one new molding, which is this nurse hat up here, which I thought was used in Friends, but it wasn't. And that just kind of clips into that little hole at the top of her hair, which you can see right there. And it kind of just is molded so that it pushes more to the left side of the minifigure. So a very detailed minifigure in general. And it's a good addition, even though it is a different version of a pre-existing character. So here is Orca, another obscure villain that is just a recolor of the Lego Minifigures Series 15 shark suit guy, but I think this works out because this one's a black coloring of it, and this one's a lot more freaky. My favorite part of it is this head print right here. Holy crap, that is freaky. It's just kind of like the open mouth of somebody, and you could put something like March Harriet's little thing there, and it looks like just this mouth that just kind of enveloped a bunny's head. I don't know. I'm going to have so much fun with that hair, or sorry, that face print. But that's really it. I mean, it has the same flipper arms that the Penguin had from Series 16. And that's really it for this minifigure. Here is Zodiac Master, which was a character I first did not like the minifigure of, but now that I have him in person, I really think this is pretty cool. It has some nice shiny gold printing to him, and that's what really makes him stand out. And it kind of is hard to see at first, but it shines in the light, and I think that is really just a unique thing to him. And he also has a nice kind of silver crab, which is the first time we're getting that crab in this silver casting. The fish we've gotten in silver many times before. But yeah, pretty cool printing on this guy, and that's what really makes him a cool character to include in the series. And that's really it for Zodiac Master. Here is Catman, and Catman is a different character than Batman. It's not like an alternate suit or anything. You can see he has a brown utility belt, which is a really nice piece to get in brown in general. He has these little cat claws and also dual molded legs, which is that bright yellowish orange color. It's not like a plain yellow, but still pretty useful because there's no printing on there, so you could probably use it for like an alternate Wolverine suit or something. He does look a lot like Wolverine. No back torso printing, but you do got this brown cape, and his face print underneath is pretty cool. He looks almost like Batman, but he has tan skin and lots of stubble. And of course, he does have a brown Batman New 52 mask. It's not like the regular mask, and that's the only instance of this whole mask in the whole Lego Batman movie series, except I think Scoobat in the Batcave, which is kind of interesting trivia. Here is March Harriet, and she is an adorable looking brown bunny. Actually, it's a great alternative for people who don't have the white bunny suit from Series 7, which is very hard to find now. Now you could just get this outfit, or this minifigure, and you could have a little bunny suit. There's some nice side leg and arm printing. I like the little stockings on the leg. Her accessory is a Tommy gun, which, yeah, her accessory is kind of lacking, but I think the minifigure is too adorable and too cute in its printing that it is definitely one of my favorites. And if you remove the little mask, you'd see a better look at the printing on the face, which has a little mole right there. She just looks adorable. I don't know. Here is the calculator, and this is one of my favorites as well. I love the purple kind of look to his outfit, and I like the printing on the front of his mask, which says hello, which is very cute because back in the day I used to put in 07734. It's like, oh, it's a cute calculator trick. I also used to put it without the zero and show it off to my friends, if you get what that means. Anyways, once you move that up, you can see his face printing underneath is pretty 50s looking. That's just funny because he is a very old character from my understanding. And you can see he also has some nice printing on the top of his helmet. And yeah, he doesn't have an accessory, but his armor kind of makes up for it. And if you want a better look at the printing underneath his face, there you go. There's also a nice 1x1 tile, which is stuck onto this kind of gear right here. And that kind of has a calculator print to it, which is kind of funny. And if you remove all that underneath, he looks like a naked Buzz Lightyear. And he has some nice kind of printing on his torso and some side leg and arm printing and everything and dual molded legs. Very awesome looking minifigure. So here is King Tut from the Batman's 60s TV show, which is an interesting inclusion to say the least. I like it because it is an obscure character like that. But other than that, I mean, it's kind of a bland minifigure. I mean, we've gotten a Pharaoh a few times from Lego minifigure series, I think. And you can see that his torso print and everything, it's okay. It's very Egyptian-like, which is pretty nice. And you can see he even has the dual molded legs, which has his bare feet on it, like, Lobster-Lovin Batman and Vacation Batman. But his accessory is kind of lame with the snake staff, which was the same one used for the Series 2 Pharaoh, as well as his other accessory, which is just the snake. So that's not really an interesting use. Either way, you can see his little kind of crown right here is pretty cool. It has some nice kind of gold coloring to it, but still, he's just really not that interesting in this series. Here is Mime, and yeah, you guys know I don't really like this minifigure. I don't know, just something about her. It's just really not that interesting. I do kind of like the risque printing on the torso and the legs. That's kind of cool with the fishnet. It seems like a fishnet undershirt or something. But yeah, she's just really not that interesting to me. Her accessory is just lightning pieces, which we've gotten a few times before. And her face print, while it's pretty cool that they put white on it, it's white on light flesh, and there's lots of intricate coloring there. It's still not too interesting to me. And her hair mold is the kind of mohawk hair in this nice dark blue, which I guess is pretty neat. On the packet, you can see that it says limited edition, 20 to collect. And on this side, it just shows not much else. And here is the little kind of checklist. You can see they kind of packed in 20 minifigures in there with 5 on each line. And on the side, just the Lego Batman movie. And they even have an advertisement for the next series, which is very interesting and brings up questions, Will they be doing this if there's a licensed series from another property for, let's say series 17? Will they do it for Ninjago? Or let's say the next series is Disney. Will they do it for Disney? It's kind of interesting. But it does tease what looks to be a pirate or something, so that's kind of interesting. So now that I have the series in hand, and you guys know it's a super hyped series for me, I have to make a bold statement, and I'm going to say this is the best Lego minifigure series yet. Hear me out. I'm going to explain why. Okay, look. With the minifigures line, more is better. I mean, if a series has more than the other, usually it would mean it's good because then that means more unique minifigures to collect that will appeal to different audiences. Now, the Disney series did have this, they had 18. But I feel like with the Disney series, they were just selling characters on their iconicity. So you'll have like a character like Mickey Mouse, who I thought was an amazing minifigure. And that's probably because I like Mickey Mouse as a character a lot. But it just didn't appeal to fans who didn't really, Lego fans who didn't really care about Disney. If you didn't care about Disney, there's no reason to get the Mickey Mouse minifigure. And that was the same with a lot of other ones in the series, like Buzz Lightyear and stuff. This, on the other hand, yeah, they have these, I guess, iconic characters, but they're not selling it on the fact that, oh, look, this is a popular character. You could get this. They're selling it on the fact that, look, this character has different wacky accessories and it looks like a wacky character. And in my opinion, that's more appealing to a broader audience because now people who don't really care about Batman, they'll say, okay, I want Lobster Batman because he has a lobster. I want, Glam Metal Batman because he has a guitar. I want the Racer because he has this really kind of interesting suit. They're not selling it on the iconicity of the characters. They're selling it on the uniqueness of the minifigures and how weird and crazy they look. And I think that makes it stronger, and the fact that it has 20 minifigures, so it's already a leg up out of the regular Lego minifigures lines. So, yeah, I give this series an A+. The ratings for minifigure series are very arbitrary. I guess they don't really matter because, look, each minifigure series, in my opinion, is just amazing. So it's hard to compare them, but like I said, I think this is personally the best minifigure series to date. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree with that statement? If you don't like licensed minifigure series, you gotta admit that some of these will still appeal to you just because of the fact that, you get a suited character. You get a different, piece here and there. So I think that's where it's gonna appeal to people where the Disney series didn't. So that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later.